What's up, guys? How are we doing today? Today we're going to talk about distribution and how the music industry has changed over the past 10 to 15 years because of the internet, and how the internet has changed the distribution and kind of thrown the industry kind of upside down. To start off, let's talk about the old distribution model, which usually started with, if you were a recording artist, you started with your music, which was manufactured on a CD. Okay. Kind of looks like a donut. So the first thing in the distribution model of yesteryear, if you will, start off with your actual physical product, the CD, what your music was on. The next stage was getting that music into usually a big box retailer like Best Buy. Okay. In order to do that, you had to have a method of distribution. You had to have a fleet of trucks, if you will, to actually physically drive the CD from the place it was manufactured, usually to a warehouse where it was stored, and then eventually to the store. And then you had, so you got your music in the store, and then, you know, your fan could then, you know, go to the store, pick the CD up. In order for the fan to know about it, you had to have a sphere of influence, if you will, which usually was in the form of your television set, where you had your MTV, or you had your radio. And in order for the fan to hear about your music, you had to have influence over the TV, over the radio, over the print publications like Rolling Stone or other music magazines, if you will, in order to get them excited enough to go to the store and buy your CD. This is kind of the old distribution model. Problem was that both the distribution, the physical distribution, and the marketing influence cost a lot of money to make both of those things happen. So if you were a recording artist trying to make a successful career out of selling your CDs, you had to have a lot of money. Number one, to get it in the store, and number two, to influence marketing channels so that the fan would find out about your music. And that's pretty much why the record labels controlled the industry for so long. They own the distribution, and they own the marketing channels, like television, radio, and print. And they had money to spend in those areas. So for the longest time, the only way to really make, to become really successful, the most part, was to get signed to a major label, because they controlled pretty much all the outlets that were needed to get the music into the hands of the fans. Well, the web's kind of changed that. To start, today, with digital files, we really don't need this CD anymore. We don't really need to physically buy the CD and hold it in our hand. Well, I mean, some people still feel the need for that, but for the most part, it's not really necessary in order to have that CD. So we really don't need that anymore. And something else we don't really need is this kind of distribution. Since we don't have a physical product, and we really don't need a physical location to buy it in, because really all we have to do is just kind of get on the internet and download a file from somewhere. So if we don't need the CD, we don't need the store, and we don't need that distribution anymore. We don't need to put our music on a truck and ship it somewhere. All we have to do is send it through the internet, whether it's a download or a link through an email or a file in an email attachment, or a stream on a MySpace page. The internet has kind of removed that system, or that distribution model. And we really don't need the MTV anymore. I mean, MTV really isn't an important place to find out about new music. The radio is still alive, but even that is kind of dying as far as a a place to influence the fans and influence people to buy music. So the internet's kind of changed the industry because it's done away with all the things that traditionally were the only ways or means to get music in front of the fan. So what we have today is, let's say we have this digital file. It's really not, it's really not a physical thing. It's just a, it's not tangible. It's just a file on the internet somewhere. But so this is, instead of the CD, the digital file is the new, means, the new product, if you will. And in order to get that to the fan, you kind of draw a straight line. And this is exactly why the web has changed the music industry and turned it upside down. Is there's no longer that distribution channel that you have to go through in order to get the music directly to the fan. The artist is given a plethora of ways to, or options to offer the fan. There's iTunes, there's MySpace, there's your website. As far as the distribution through these different channels, and there are numerous ways you can go about distributing digital files. And instead of the TV and MySpaces, we have things like blogs and other social networks that the fan can find out about an artist's music through. And the artist is working, directly with all these places instead of having to go through a label or someone else to influence. There's no specific sphere of influence. It's really all up to the artist to be everywhere on the web with their music, and their product, and their merchandise, and their videos, and everything. So this is kind of it's changed the industry a lot because there's no longer necessarily the need to sign for a major label, because I don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars on manufacturing costs, distribution costs. I don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars on radio and television and print promotion. It's more of a time issue more than anything. And that's something that, while a lot of artists will say they don't have because their focus should be on their music, it is something that they're going to have to think about if they want to succeed, is spending the time on all the places online that their fans are using. Find the social networks that your potential fans are using and are on. Find the blogs that talk about similar kinds of music. Get on them. Get in front of the audience, and then utilize the social networks, which are very, very cost effective to set up. CD Baby and TuneCore and some of these other social networks and distribution methods, Snowcat. They're all out there, and they're all pretty affordable ways of getting the distribution part set up. So you can see how the web has kind of completely changed kind of the landscape that is the music industry. And hopefully, once you understand the concept a little bit, you'll be a little more comfortable going out and trying things on your own.